You might think that you are valuable because you do things right. That's wrong. And also, you might think that you are not valuable because you don't do things right. So you do things wrong. And that's wrong also, I would argue. And why is that? Why can't you figure out your value as a person because of the things you do? Hey friends, welcome to another video. This time we're gonna be talking about some stuff. I don't know how to start these. We're gonna be talking about procrastination and productivity. But before we get into that, I want to address something. We all know like the things are going on in the world right now, and it's like baffling, like the point in which this is getting at, right? So I'm gonna be putting a few links down in the description if you feel in your heart that you want to help with this, with some cause, you know, to get help for the people in Ukraine. It's really hard for me to create some kind of content right now, like knowing all the things that are going on. It all seems so trivial. I was reading this post on the other day from my newsletter from Mackenzie. Like, Mackenzie creates so much good topic and shares so much information, so much good stuff, so much real, rich content. And they're saying this, like, humbly saying, hey, I know there's a lot going on right now in the world, and it all seems so trivial for us to talk about like these topics. And I just wanted to address that because it seems very trivial if we look at it from the perspective of thinking maybe politically, thinking maybe ideologically, thinking on a ideology level. But we think if we bring it down to the individual and really start to think about like the repercussions of the fact that there's evil in this world comes from the evil in our hearts, like how much we corrupted to a certain extent, how much we fail towards one another and bring sorrow and stress and painful moments for the people in this world. And I want to touch that a little bit. I want to touch that. That ties a little bit into. I want to tie into that a little bit. I want to touch that a little bit. Talking about specifically. Talking specifically about how our own image, like last time I was talking about the image, the intrinsic value we all have. I was talking about the intrinsic value we all have. I was talking about like how you shouldn't worry about like your value as a person and let what you do define you as you are. Because I said before, I might be biased because I'm Christian, and I think we all have intrinsic value that comes from the fact that we are made from the image of God. And because of that, we have a moral compass. Because of that, we have perception of good and evil. And it's important to address that. It is important for us to really understand what we're talking about when we're talking about us being individuals, right? So. All right. Things just got serious. What does it mean? What does it mean for us to have intrinsic value? Well, that means that you are born with that value, right? So you are born with some kind of thing that makes you valuable as a person. that makes you capable of doing a lot of harm, a lot of good in this world. I think it's Jung that writes. I don't want to butcher this. Let me check it out. I'm gonna put this on the B-roll. Oh no. Actually, it was Solzhenitsyn. Actually, it was Solzhenitsyn, Alexander Solzhenitsyn, who wrote the Gulag Archipelago. He wrote this book in a prison. He's actually a Russian writer. He brought this. For what I've learned from Jordan Peterson's talks, and to check them out. His talks when he was lecturing. From what I've learned, this Russian writer, he wrote this book called Gulag Archipelago, which basically single-handedly brought down the oppression that came with the Soviet Union just by writing this book. And in this book, and it's a quote from this book I want to take from, which is pretty peculiar. I'm taking like a book from a Russian writer to talk about the situation. But anyways, bear with me here. He says, the line separating good and evil passes not through states, not between classes, nor between political parties either, but right through every human heart and through all human hearts. Like, this is spectacular. This is so great. Like, look at this. Exactly my point at the start of this. I was talking about like the fact that we shouldn't blame Russia. We shouldn't blame states. We shouldn't blame ourselves as individuals for what we do. We shouldn't blame. We all know Putin's heart is not in the right place right now. We have to acknowledge that. But we also know that we are not better than him because of that. It's not just, oh, well, I have never, started a war with another nation, be myself a ruler of a nation. I never myself annihilated hundreds of lives, ruined thousands, maybe millions of lives because of my greed, because of what I've done, because of what I wanted. Yeah, you could definitely say that. But does that make you a better person than the other guy, the person that does that, right? So last time I was talking about a little bit about like the fact that it's not what you do that defines you, but the person you are, your identity as a person. Now, that means you gotta really understand and get down to the nitty-gritty of who you really are, right? That's basically the first step of this. It's basically the first step you have to make. I don't want you to think that you're better than anyone else just because you haven't done as much harm as those people did. Like what you just heard here from this quote from Alexander Solzhenitsyn. It goes down to the fact that we all have like the potential to do a lot of good or a lot of evil. I've said this before, but bear with me here. Like if we go back to, and Jordan Peterson says this a lot in his not his talks, not just his talk, but his classes specifically. And if you go to his YouTube channel, you're gonna like go on a whole deeper level on like understanding how these situations occur, how much evil we can bring to this world. He also talks about, he references this book. The book is the title of the book is, what's the title of the book? Ordinary Man. I think that's the title of the book. I haven't even read it. All right, I'm just gonna say it. I haven't read the book. I just heard him referencing time and time again. He was saying that like these accounts of this of the Nazi soldiers and I think it's the police, like the enforcement police kind of thing. Oh, I'm so sad I haven't read the book because now I think I'm butchering this, but like just to get the point across, like the oppressor authority figure, like kind of the equivalent to the police right now for us, and the progression, the the path that they take from being ordinary men to being the soldiers who carried out the orders of the Nazi state. So they just start off just obeying orders. They would say to them, like, imagine Hitler would say to them, "Hey, you guys should, I don't know," was told to yeah, eradicate any kind of opposition, you know, oppress any kind of opposition towards the state in terms of the things that the state was doing. So, hey, you guys, don't let anybody say that what you're doing is wrong. When I tell you to, gather these people and put them on a train, because these people are going to go on a journey, and they were like, all right, it's just we're gonna force our authority. We're gonna put these people on a train. There's no harm in that specifically, right? That's what they thought. As the thing developed, as the Nazi state progressed in its power, like dominion over, over the population, not just in terms of military power, but also in terms of basically subjugating the population to the state of mind of thinking whatever they got them to think. As this progressed, the orders they carried out would be more and more peculiar. Let's say it got to a point. We got to the point we all know where it went, but like it started off with, hey, put all these people on this train. They would go, all right. Then we'll be like, hey, don't let anybody leave the camp. Like, if they leave the camp, shoot them down, because those are the orders. They'll go like, whoa, this is a little bit extreme, but I guess like for the security or for the state or whatever, they will rationalize it as they could, maybe. I'm just giving like, I'm not giving specific examples, all right? Just may or may not be in the book, but like the gist of it. This is the gist of it. And then we'll go like, okay, then, but now we want you to lead these people to this container and have them, I don't know, strip down their clothes, take a shower together. And they'll go like, all right, that's a bit weird. We're talking about humans. There's such thing as human rights here. So you can start to see like how their conscious, like their moral compass will start to shift like very slightly. And then they will go like, okay, now the orders are that you make these people I don't know, work to the bone until they fall to the ground, like of exhaustion. We don't feed them any food. We don't like. They almost reach this state of starvation. And if they don't work, make them work. So they will carry these orders out, and people would start to just die out of exhaustion, like especially like people with health issues, older people, and to establish the fact that we are all valuable. All right, there's nobody else that is less than the other just because of their social status, just because of their nation, just because of where they come from, just because of the color of the skin, just because of anything at all. We are all valuable human beings. Just because you're a junior designer, it does not mean you have less value. Just because you're starting on a new place and a new job, doesn't mean you're less valuable. You start to think like, of course that's the case. It's pretty obvious if you think about it. But like, that's you rationalizing right now. But when you're in it, like, it's a total different story. For example, for the case of this friend of mine, she was telling me about this, and she was telling me that of course, she was concerned about this, about what was going on, but she wasn't imagine that she wasn't sure if she was going to stay or not. And I could have not related more, because, like, I've been there before. I understand how much it costs to be working with people you don't particularly enjoy working with, but you just doing your job, just trying to, I don't know, get paid, get a paycheck, I don't know, feed your family. That was not my case, but, like, there's a lot of needs you gotta feel. We can't just go around quitting jobs left and right because we don't like the people we're working with. I read somewhere an article or a quote somewhere, just out of I don't know where, but they said we don't quit jobs, we quit bosses. That says a lot about, like, the importance of the work environment to an employee. There's no reason to think we don't have value, although we might not understand this value, might or might not understand this value because of the fact that we are flawed, we are human beings, we can do a lot of right and a lot of wrong too. That still does not answer the question of why do people still treat each other badly. Haven't we all agreed that treating each other well is a good thing? Haven't we all agree that we may make mistakes towards one another? We are eventually going to make mistakes. We are eventually going to hurt someone else. We are eventually going to be hurt. That's not, like, avoidable, And I wanted to touch a little bit on that because, like, this was me like 3 years ago. This was me, like, at the beginning. I was like, well, because I'm starting off right now, I have to hustle, I have to work, and I have to, like, show everybody that I'm good. That way I'm gonna be treated like the way I deserve. I think I deserve to be treated, So I was extracting my value from the things I did for my work. So because of that, I just started working basically nonstop. I was just thinking that before. I was just thinking that this week, like, for 2 years, almost 3 years, 2.5 years, I did not, like, even ask for a week of vacations. Because I was just on this mindset that I had to work and hustle. Every day I'm hustling, that song. But, why is that? Why do I think I have to work so much? What kind of distorted lie was put in my mind to think that I had to work that much, like 14, 16 hours a day, to be valuable as a designer in the first place, but also as a person, because it was so much of an important part of my identity. It basically came down to thinking that my value as a person, as a human being, came from the fact that I did a good work. I was consuming a lot of self-help media and books, at that time. That whole thing about hustle culture and all that. I really thought, like, this is the way to go. Like, you do good work and you're valuable, and, like, I'm not gonna say it's not valuable for you to do good work. I'm just questioning, and I'm postulating that, first of all, questioning why are you saying that. Why do you say that you have to do good work? You have to do a lot of good work. You know, why you gotta hustle yourself to the bone and think this is the way to go? And postulating that stems from the fact that you think that by doing that you are valuable as a person, that you are valuable as a human being because of the things you do. Yeah, why do we think we have to do anything to be deserving of anything, right? I guess we're just gonna have to answer that in part 2. See you guys. Hey guys, by the way, I'm running out of battery, so if you're seeing this clip, it's probably because I ran out of battery. And if you're watching this, I did not finish my point. Cut, like, I'm gonna do a rough cut on this. I hope to see you guys on the next video, where we're gonna try it out. We're gonna finish up this point and maybe start another. I don't know where I'm gonna do this, how I'm gonna do this, but thank you guys for watching to the end, and I hope to see you guys on the next one. See you.